Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Kathleen Kennedy has had her contract extended. Who'd have thought it? We normally have a chorus of individuals going, Kathleen Kennedy's fired. She's fired this week, she's fired next week, she's fired. She's gone. It's not too much of a stretch to think that she would have been fired, though. You know, it's not. It does become a little bit tiresome seeing it non-stop. All the thoughts and theories and rumours. But it's not a stretch, it's not a surprise to think that she's been fired, simply because she has irreparably, or seemingly was irreparably damaging the Star Wars brand. But now, what was under Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, the Star Wars brand is boosting again a little bit anyway. At least via the Disney Plus TV side of things. So, whether we can say that's down to her or not, most people would say no. But I'm guessing, because her contract's been renewed, Disney executives would say it's definitely down to her decision making. This all dropped yesterday, and I thought we would take a look at it. Basically, have a good old explore, a nice, chilled out read through. So I hope you're all well. Hope you're enjoying your day. With respect to this channel's sponsor, there's a bit of a beam of white light there, isn't there? With respect to this channel's sponsor today, we don't have anything major being sponsored, but I do have, that's right, ladies and gents, I do have something that I am going to push, and that is my ugly alien Christmas sweater. This is an all-over designer premium pullover sweatshirt with an all-over design featuring Ripley, the Xenomorphs, the Space Jockey, aliens, facehuggers, eggs, chestbursters, as well as the Juggernaut there. Pretty damn cool design. This is on my Teespring store. You'll find it linked down below in the description box. This is the last time I will be selling this design, and this is the best iteration of it. So grab it whilst you can, because I won't be doing it again. And it's a great way to support me, the channel, and what I do here. So grab it down below. Link is in the description box. So let's take a look at this, right? This is over on Bleeding Fool, and they've a good website actually. I quite like Bleeding Fool. They've shared some things from me in the past, so you know, good for them. They're not bad. Don't have any sort of mad connection to them or anything like that, but they've tagged me in some stuff that they've shared, and I find their articles quite funny, and I like the fact that they have no pop-up ads. I like that. Fuck off with your pop-up ads. Anyway, let's take a look. Okay, let's just read their article and come to some conclusions, shall we? So following last week's reporting that Patty Jenkins' Star Wars film will be postponed indefinitely, rumours began circulating that claimed the decision was due to creative differences. Okay, so that primarily came from Puck, that's with a P, Puck, not with an F, YouTube. So the creative differences were between the filmmaker and Lucasfilm management. Media outlets like The Hollywood Reporter claimed that the delay was due to Jenkins' hectic schedule. But it's really important to note that in The Hollywood Reporter's article, they do note there's nothing that looks like would conflict. So we're a bit confused with what the schedule is, actually, which is getting in the way. And that, to me, signified a pretty, a sort of a subversive way of saying there's nothing actually getting in the way, something's going on here. So, yeah. Now they say her other obligations, including... I can't speak. Her other obligations, including the upcoming Wonder Woman 3 for Warner Brothers, will preclude her from filming Rogue Squadron next year in time for a 2023 release. And according to the source, there was optimism that once Jenkins' schedule cleared, she'd return to finish what she started with Matthew Robinson. By the way, this is important, just as an FYI. Because now we get this... Now, there was word which comes from former Hollywood Reporter editor and known insider Matthew Belloni on his Puck website now, that the picture was pulled off Lucasfilm's production schedule due to disagreements between Patty Jenkins and the company. Now, again, this is all background. It's important to go into it. According to Belloni, the challenges have centered on the film's screenplay, with Jenkins and studio officials, notably senior VP Michelle Rejwan, unable to reach an agreement on how to proceed. Now he says, and I quote, "I talked to a few insiders this week that said the real culprit was the dreaded creative differences. Specifically, Jenkins couldn't agree on the script with Lucasfilm executives, including Senior VP Michelle Rejwan. Jenkins wasn't willing to dick around, and she has other projects, notably Wonder Woman 3 at Warner Brothers, where she enjoys more creative freedom." Now I think what was funny is this element here. So Baloney mentions that a number of agents have previously indicated that prominent directors are frequently eager to sign up for a movie within the Star Wars series, but are repeatedly stymied by micromanagement and plot point by committee methods from the executives. And apparently it's a laughably recurring problem. Lucasfilm even pointing out the Game of Thrones showrunners, blah, blah, blah. They bailed. Not really important, but whatever. Now, they do say that the Star Wars trilogy for Rian Johnson is cancelled as well. So that's the first we've heard from anyone remotely mainstream media that, you know, Rian Johnson's canned. But then we get, you know, some elements here, right? So Baloney's subtitle for the article sums it up nicely. Kathleen Kennedy is one of the most prolific producers in Hollywood history, but it's time for someone else to manage the Star Wars franchise. So there you go. But yeah, Disney extended a contract for an additional 3 years. I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. Like, how? How did that happen? It's so strange. So Kathleen Kennedy indeed receives a 3-year contract extension. So this is who essentially broke the news, I think. It's going to be a long winter for anyone who was wanting Kathleen Kennedy to sail away from Lucasfilm and Star Wars. The contract extension I broke exclusively here at that Park Place more than 2 weeks ago is confirmed to be a 3-year extension for the incredibly divisive head of Lucasfilm. Like, how do you do that? How do you go from making, like, they list it here in terms of the money and things like that. Like, the money's just been going down and down and down. Hugely going down. Profitability of the franchise is, you know, gone off a cliff face, and yet you then extend it. Now, I'm wondering, ladies and gents, whether any of this sort of extension element is to do with a case of them thinking that, you know, the Disney Plus stuff has been because of her stewardship, I'm guessing. Now, they say this anyway. This followed on an article I did based on what I was hearing through back channels about Kennedy's contract negotiations. All the way back in September, I was telling readers that Kennedy was almost certainly returning, even though whilst loads of people were saying, no, she's definitely out. Shut up. And yes, it's still the case that Kathleen Kennedy has lost the confidence of Bob Chapek and the rest of the Walt Disney Company's upper brass. That is what makes this entire situation so utterly bizarre. But she hasn't then, has she? Let's be honest. I had expected that Kennedy would receive a 1-year extension and a guaranteed executive producer role on Indiana Jones 5 at the most. I thought Kennedy would get a 2-year extension. The decision to give Kennedy a 3-year deal flies in the face of the changes CEO Bob Chapek has been attempting to push throughout Disney. He's very much wanted to move away from longer contracts and more towards performance-based deals with short-term limits. How? Like, how? It's so strange. She always said she would be going once Indiana Jones is done. But, I mean, that's going back for reshoots, I believe. So, maybe it's somehow linked to that. I don't know. But how do you go from this woman, you know, being given the role, the keys to the kingdom of Star Wars, and then the money just falling off a cliff, which it has done, figuratively, obviously. Not literally, it's not literally fallen off a cliff, but figuratively it's fallen off a cliff. The take that Star Wars has, profitability-wise, is going down and down and down and down and down. Unless, and I don't know if the figures will be public, I don't think they will be anywhere, but unless the profitability has gone back up now because of the Disney Plus situation in terms of the merchandising and licensing. Maybe. Grogu must have been pretty big for the company, so maybe it's all to do with that. Shocking stuff, though. Obviously, you know, take it all with a pinch of salt with respect to people saying she's been fired and all the insider fights going on with Disney and CEO hates her. So, well, clearly he doesn't. Like, clearly he doesn't. Come on. It's so strange. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This dropped yesterday. I couldn't really do a video on it because I'd already done a certain number in a day, and YouTube doesn't like you doing any more in a day. I just won't tell you, so it's kind of a bit redundant me doing a video on it. So I've done it today. Sorry I'm late. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Grab the Alien Ugly Sweater in the description box. It goes a long way to helping support the channel. I will be having Jasper Christmas merch soon as well, as soon as possible. But grab the limited edition one. It's the last year I will ever run that design. So thank you all so much. Take care.